Hey guys, CloneGuy here, and today I'm counting down the 7 best tanks that every World of Tanks player should try. Now, a lot of these tanks, in fact most of these tanks, all of these tanks are no longer mainstream. Some of them may have been mainstream at some point, but no longer are these tanks mainstream. They are tanks that are skipped, tanks that are forgotten because you grind right through them, all sorts of things. And people just don't play them because you've got premium tanks now, you've got tier 10s now. And so I'm counting down what I consider to be the 7 best tanks that every player should try because they each have some kind of special uniqueness to them that you don't get very much in premium tanks, or maybe you do get in premium tanks, but now you can get it for free. And so that is what we are counting down right now. And at number 7, no list, no particular order, just what I decided to share with you guys. We've got some heavies, some lights, some mediums, and some tank destroyers, so strap in. Number 7 is the T10. The T10 is a tank that is very forgotten these days, simply because, well, it does not lead to the IS-7 anymore. It leads to the Object 277, and so people don't play this tank. They skip it outright. In fact, the Object 257 leads to both the IS-7 and the 277, so players generally skip this tank outright, which is really sad and really unfortunate, because this is the superior vehicle to the 257. The T10 is just a better tank. Its gun is absolutely fantastic. It's got 258 standard pen, 440 alpha damage, fantastic gun handling, very maneuverable tank, strong turret armor. The hull isn't great, but that's basically the only downside. This tank zooms around. It used to be a tank that Unicums would play to farm their stats. It was a stat patter. There it is. Woo! A stat patter's dream vehicle, because it also has a snappy gun and it also has decent DPM, and the heat on this is 340 millimeters of heat penetration on this gun, which can punch through anything you're ever going to face. Absolutely crazy numbers. And I believe every tanker should try this tank at least one time in their life if you've not before, or maybe pull it out again. I think it's a phenomenal tank, and it still goes hard. There are so many tier 8 premium light tanks, in fact so many premium light tanks in general in this game, that tech tree light tanks aren't seen much anymore, other than the French and the American. I don't know why that is. I see a lot of Bulldogs, and I see a lot of it 12 tons everywhere. The Batchat 12 ton, the AMX 12 ton, the AMX 1375, those things are everywhere, but the LTTB, I don't see. And the LTTB is the definition of mobility. You will not find a light tank that feels this good to drive around in, and the gun handling on it is absolutely crazy. I have, I believe, gun rammer, coated optics, and camouflage net. I don't have a vertical stabilizer on my LTTB, and that gun circle is so tiny. It's absolutely crazy how good this tank's gun handling is on the move. And when this was tier 7, this tank still had a fantastic power to weight, fantastic mobility, and that was kind of the specialty of this tier 7 light tank, of the Russian light tanks, as they had fantastic engines. Then when scout matchmaking changed and all the light tanks kind of moved up a tier, everybody got stronger engines, this tank included. And now it's even more maneuverable than ever. The gun handling is better than ever. The DPM has dropped. Its reload isn't as good as it used to be, but otherwise this tank is an absolute fantastic brawling light tank, one of the best in the game. And if you're not happy with it, you've got the tier 9 T-54 lightweight, which is also probably the best tier 9 brawling light tank in the game. The Russians are just fantastic light tank brawlers. They have the light tank camouflage as well, so you don't have to worry about losing your camouflage, losing your scout abilities like you do in the Americans, where when you're playing an American light tank, you lose your scouting ability because your camouflage is so bad. You don't lose that in the Russians. The Russians can brawl and scout, and that is just a fantastic combination. And for that reason, I think every player should try out at least the LTTB at some point in their life. I think it's a great tank. Don't forget about it. Don't leave it in the dust. Pull it out sometime. Give it a go. It's fantastic. Oh my goodness. Tank destroyers. I have one here. Absolute beast machine. And I debated this one or the Tortoise. The Tortoise is another tank I think everyone should try at some point. However, the mobility of the Tortoise can make it a little bit painful, plus the grind can be a little bit painful, so I included instead the Jagdtiger. Absolutely crazy 128mm gun on this tank with 560 alpha damage, and if you shoot your premium rounds, you have 352mm of APCR penetration on a tier 9 tank. This tank dishes out damage, and it's a historically beautiful tank. The Jagdtiger existed. It's fantastic to see in game. It's fantastic to play. It feels really good. And overall, I just love this tank, and I wish more people would play it. And if you've never tried one, you should. A lot of players just zoom through this tank as quickly as they can to get themselves the Jagdpanzer E100, and they completely miss out on the gem that is this tier 9. Many players, though, understand just how beautiful and amazing this tank is, to the point where a lot of people ask for it on my channel. They love to see it, and I love to give it because I love to play it. Tier 9 German heavy tank. Not a heavy tank, super heavy tank destroyer. It's got some armor to boot. If you've never played it, my gosh, guys, you are missing out. You should. I love it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's amazing. And it still packs a punch, and it can still hold its own in today's matchmaking. It's time for the first medium tank on this list, one that many players will never play in their lives because the grind is weird, to say the least, and it leads to some Russian mediums that are less than used, ones that people don't usually use. The 430, the 430U, and the K91. People aren't writing home about those tanks. I would write home about those tanks, but a lot of other players are not. And the reason I put the 416 on the list is because of just how unique it is. And you're getting the sneaky tank destroyer playstyle and experience in a medium tank. And this tank has like 183 meters still concealment. You are comparable to the E25. The SFAC pales in comparison to this tank. People are like, oh, the SFAC is the new machine. This tank is the new machine and the old machine. This tank has always been one of the craziest tanks in the game. It used to have 1100 hit points, but it's been buffed to 1300, and the upper plate armor has been buffed. This tank is nuts. There's an SFAC right now. Who cares about that? We're gonna shoot it in the fuel tank, right in the front. That's where we want to hit it, because that means if we get to shoot it again, and I'm highlighting this because it's an SFAC, and I kind of like setting them on fire right now. Boom, set on fire. This camouflage is absurd, and the gun is absurd. You have 201mm of standard penetration, and if you decide to shoot your premium rounds, you have 330 heat pen on this tank. You can deal with any tank in the game. Any tank you're ever going to fight, you can cheese through with this tank. Tier 10s even. Absolutely crazy what this tank is capable of, and that's why I have it on the list. It is an experience you're not going to get in any other medium tank in this game, and I highly recommend you give it a go if you haven't already. Oh my goodness, from one capable gun to another, probably the most capable gun in all of World of Tanks, the 90mm on the ARL-44. But it also has 100mm, which has 330 alpha on its premium rounds, which is absolutely crazy as well, with high penetration like 219 or 216 premium penetration. But if you don't use that gun, you decide to use this 90mm cannon here on the tank, you will cheese through every tank you will ever play against. At tier 6, firing standard rounds, you can RBRT every tank. In fact, the OI, a heavy tank at tier 6, which some tier 7s need to load premium rounds to go through, this tank does not. You have 212mm of standard penetration on this. And if you decide to be cheeky and you load your APCR rounds, you now have 259mm of APCR penetration on a tier 6. You can cheese through the oh-ho. You can penetrate the lower plate of a defender. You can go through potentially even the upper plate of Tiger 2s with a tier 6 heavy tank. The gun is nuts, and I've said it at the start of this, I'm going to say it again. The ARL-44, I believe, has the most capable gun of any tank or tank destroyer in the game, tier 4 tier. The 416 with the 330 heat pen is fantastic, of course, but this tank is 2 tiers lower. You're never going to fight anything more than a 416, and you have 259mm of penetration. Holy cow. And the gun is accurate, it feels nice, 240 alpha damage. This is, making this video, I really want to just play this tank. I think it's one of the greatest tanks, tier for tier in this game, I've ever seen in my life. And I want to play it more. The gun is beautiful, and you have armor to boot, 100 millimeters of upper plate armor angled back, so it's better than the Tigers and your tier lower, and you have thick side armor, so you can get people to hit you in the tracks and bounce off all the time in this tank. Absolutely crazy, tier 6. If you moved it up to tier 7, gave it more health, I wouldn't bat an eye. I would think, oh yeah, that makes sense. But at tier 6, whew, this tank sings. We are approaching the end of this list, but we're not quite there yet. The Centurion 7-1 tier 9 British medium tank is on this list because it is the quintessential Centurion. It is the best Centurion, in my opinion, in the game, tier for tier. You've got the Royal Ordnance 105 with 268 millimeters of premium penetration, standard penetration, sorry, and you have Hesh rounds with 210 penetration and 480 alpha damage. Absolutely crazy on this tank. And it just performs so well. And you have 2 competitive guns to choose from. You can also use the 20 pounder, which has really good DPM, and it's pretty fun to use, sub 4 seconds reload. Otherwise, though, this Royal Ordnance is the gun to go. I think this tank is absolutely beautiful, an absolute dream to play. It handles so nicely. Used to go 40, now it goes 50. Gun handle used to kind of be derpy, but still be good for its time. Now it's laser beam. In 6.0, it's absolute laser beam, and it has seen so many buffs. It's seen DPM buffs, it's seen mobility buffs, it's seen gun handling buffs. This tank is a monster to go up against, a monster to play. Very fun tank. And again, it's one that's kind of forgotten. You do see some players play it from time to time because they want the 4202 or the Action X, but these days people don't really want the 4202 or the Action X. And so you're not seeing people play this tank anymore, which is so sad. It is a dream, an old gen dream machine, which still puts out the numbers today. And so I highly recommend it if you haven't played it before. It is a classic World of Tanks piece of machinery, and one that still performs, and you should probably give it a go yourself. And you know what's great about it? Why stop at the Centurion having fun with this? Because then you've got 2 tier 10s you can unlock right after it. So definitely get yourselves, if you haven't already or you haven't played it in a while, the Centurion 7-1, because this tank still cooks. Last and certainly not least, my gosh, this tank surprised me with just how good it is. The Japanese tier 7 tank destroyer, the T10 SP. Have you heard of this tank? Have you guys ever played this tank? No? Well, let me tell you a little bit about this tank real quick. It's got some armor on it. It's about 212 effective hull armor at this tier 7, which is fantastic for tier 7. It goes 40, which is quite interesting because on PC it goes 30, and it has this incredible 105mm gun with like 204mm of penetration on its standard, and then 245 on its premium AP rounds, which cheese through everyone, and it has crazy concealment values and decent view range, and a really good gun arc from the left to the right. I had no idea. Where did this tank come from? And why is it so good? And I found out on PC, this tank is considered one of the best tank destroyers tier for tier in the game. And we have a better version on console because of the mobility and because of the gun handling perks. We just have a better version. And so I had to include it in this list because it blows my mind just how good this tank actually is and how come I never really knew until I started playing it. And I was like, whoa. Where did this come from? And why is it this good? It has the same kind of feel and playstyle as like the Jagdpanther or the T25AT or the SU-12244. That kind of low profile, nice DPM 105 caliber gun, though the 12244 of course has a 122. And so, I mean, that feels, it plays like those. It's a little bit taller. Yes, but it's got more armor than those ones. And the DPM is comparable. I've got over 3,000, I'm pretty sure over 3,000 DPM in this thing. I think not quite 3,000, but it's close to it. But then you have the penetration that I was talking about. AP penetration, meaning you're getting 5 degrees of normalization on these shells. Holy Toledo. It's a fantastic gun, fantastic tank. It's got armor to boot, and I highly recommend it. And it's only tier 7. You don't have to go all the way up the line if you don't want to. Just stop at tier 7, call it a day, and enjoy, reap the joy that is this tier 7 tank destroyer. You will not be disappointed. Anywho's, that is my top 7 list. Top 7 tanks that I think all World Tanks players need to try at some point in their career. These tanks are absolutely fantastic. They still hold their own. They're comparable to many of the pay-to-win premium tanks, and they're all free. And so if you want to get the edge on the enemy team, on the enemy players, grind out these tanks, pull them out again, get to know them. Each one of them has their own fantastic playstyle, their own way of absolutely eviscerating the enemy team, and I guarantee for many of these tanks, you will not be disappointed. I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, slap that like button, comment, subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys all later. Let me know what tanks in the tech tree you think are absolutely the best that everyone should get. If you want to include some mainstream ones, go right ahead. If I was going to include mainstream ones, I would have the Charioteer and the Borsig in here, and maybe the Hellcat, the T-32. But I tried to keep these away from the mainstream heavy tanks and mainstream tank destroyers and such. And so if you've got some you want to include, do so in the comments below, and I'll be seeing you guys all later. Take care, everyone, and peace out.